Morning team, so we crack on. Day 2, let's have a look what we're doing. So we got a fair bit done yesterday. If you watched my day 1 video, we've got quite a lot built over here. We've got this done, we've got this painted in there, some of this build. And now I'm sort of flicking through, seeing what else I should build and stick in place versus what I should keep off and paint separately. And it's really interesting. I mean, one thing I've realised is doing all of that was probably a complete waste of time, because the way that this piece fits on here, it's actually a little bit more kind of, I wouldn't say permanent, but it's definitely something that once you put it on, you're probably not going to take it off too much. Whereas like with those boys, that top piece comes off quite nice and easy. So I'm now toying with what to do about the fact I painted that, and do I ever want to show it, other than going, oh excuse me, hang on, oh look, I've painted that, but by the way the rest of this looks shit. So I'm now thinking, do I try and allow this to sort of pop open? And I think if I can find a little kind of handle that allows me, that looks good but allows me to just pop that, open it, I might do that. Or I just quickly painted something yesterday for no reason, so we'll see. But I'm trying to work that out. The other thing I'm working out at the moment is, what do I do with this piece? So this is where your Helios or your Ironstorm missile pod sits, right? And you've got these pistons here. But it seems like if I'm going to have it so you can hold it up, I don't know, it's a tough one. I'm not sure what to do. I mean, obviously you want to paint it like that because it just makes it easier to paint, and then we decide perhaps when I come to fix it whether we just have it sort of a little bit open. I mean, I like the idea of it open. I think it'll look mean. I think it looks like it's going to war. So I think paint in position, and then once we fit the whole thing together, we'll decide what to do there. But that's one thing I'd say about this kit, guys, is so much of it you don't want to put together. So that entire bag is all armour panels, you know. Whoa! Excuse me. So that's all armour panels. You know, on there you've got the 2 legs, the shoulders, the top carapace, the chest, and the ball pads, the groin pad. Like, that's it. Whereas here there's tons, so none of that needs to fit on. I mean, that can all get painted. We've got another bag which is mostly cablings and tubes, so as I move on to the next phase, which is probably going to be building the weapon arms, I'll decide what to do with that. There's the weapons. So that's going to be phase 2, so we'll come back in a minute and check out the weapons. And then there's things like this, like the stacks. You know, these stacks fit. Sorry, terrible video there. These stacks fit here. But again, you know, painting them separately. So all I've done is I've just trimmed this stuff down. So you've just got that one piece in there, which is much further away from any of the paint you're going to do. That'll make life easier painting those. These are your kind of shoulder cannon pieces, so you fit Jesus, excuse me, so you fit your las cannons or your rock cannons in there, and they fit on here. Now I've left them off because actually it covers up a lot of this, and I feel like these things are the sort of things you might paint a different colour to the rest of the metal just to give it a bit of contrast. So they're off. Jesus, wow, something's got me. The 2 Helios, the 2 different variants for the missiles, I feel like I'm going to paint them separately and probably magnetize them in some way, just so I've got options to change. Same goes for the shoulder cannons. I'll probably just pin those, because las cannons cost you a bit more money, whereas the auto cannons are free, cost you more points. These are the pistons that sit on the legs, and you've got to get these right. So this is one of those things where you might just bundle them on, but this side, see how that's one long piece? and you can see there that's split into 2, and then I believe you've got one that's 3. So this is, if you've listened to Imperial Truth and you've heard Greg Dan talk about something that they got wrong when they built theirs, or his rather, this is what he means. These bits here relate to the shin pads that fit around, so you need to make sure you put them in the right place. And it's, I'll be honest, it's not the most obvious when in the instructions. It doesn't really tell you. It just sort of groups them all together and goes part 50, of which none of them are part 50. So anyway, if you do build it, pay attention to that, because if you glue them in place, I mean, it's not the end of the world, but you're going to have to fuck about a bit to try and get it done. So I'm keeping them off. I've got to clean them up, as you can see, but keeping them off, paint them up like that, and then once it's all painted, dry fit, and sort of make sure I know where the panels are going. So there you go, there's a tip for you there. So we're going to get on to, I think we're going to leave this, I'm going to leave off the kind of grab rails and things like that, because I think they're a bit delicate. I haven't actually found them in the thing yet. I'm going to probably paint them separately. Exhaust, as I said, I'm going to keep off. Yeah, a lot of this stuff, it's just you painting it on the sprue, you know, paint it on the sprue and then prod it off and put it together afterwards. So we'll see. So we'll build the guns and then we'll come back. Alright guys, we are back. I have been building these guns. They are insane. I mean, this is, you know, this is without barrels on, obviously, but that's like the size of a dreadnought. It's insane, and the detail is just incredible. So built those, got both sides built. I'm leaving these off because I just feel like, you know, I can give them a different metal colour much easier, and I can weather them easier and paint them easier and stuff like that. So they're off for painting everything on here in one piece. And then if you look at the instructions, you know, we've got lots of cables, power cables in a heatsink thing. I'm going to leave all those off. I'm going to paint them separately so that I can easier paint a different colour. And what I mean by that is, if I just grab this, you know, this thing, I'm really happy with the way this is painted, right? I'm pretty stoked with it, but I did speed paint this. So if I look here, all these cables, I haven't done them really to pop them out. And that's something, you know, when I get time, I'll go back and I'll sort of adjust this cable colour, and it'll just make everything pop a bit more. But this was really speed painted for a game with my Swedish compadres. And we had a great time, and so I'm pretty happy with it. You know, overall it looks cool, but you know, it's definitely not going to win any prizes. So with this one, because it's going into my Wordbearers army, it needs to sort of be of a standard that fits the Wordbearers army. And I feel like, you know, making sure things like cabling and power cables and stuff are done to pop off the model is important with this one. And you know, this is the one I'm taking to events with me, so I want it to look cool. I want it to look cool. So let's have a look, see what's next. So we've got the guns now. They're all ready to go. Let's pop them over there. Barrels, they're ready to go. Pop them over there. So here, basically, this is the dead pile. So far, what I do is I kind of just shovel that over there, and then eventually we'll clean it. This is sort of where it starts to be the painting it like this pile. I just need to give that a bit of a clean. But so I've got everything here ready to. This is all going to get painted on sprue. I don't know what that is. Cables, some bits. Okay. So that's all going to get painted. Painted on the sprue, painted on the sprue, painted. Alright, let's see what's next. Okay, finished. That's it. It is finished. So it looks like, really, this is all about the panels now. Like working out which panels go where. So this is quite exciting. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to work out a pin structure so that it can come in half. And then I'm going to break down everything else so that I've got an order of paint, and then I will probably start thinking about base coating, and I'm going to do the metal pieces first. So everything that's like a bare metal, I'm going to do all that first, which means these bits, these, you know, the legs, body underneath here, the guns, the barrels, the smokestacks, and then everything else will leave. I'm actually going to do all the cables last, I think, as well, because once these pieces are done, I can then actually attach them to the other pieces. You know, this will probably get painted. This will probably paint up quite quickly. So that's that phase, and then I'm going to do all the panels last once everything else is done, because that's the piece where you kind of really want to take your time. It's gonna take a fair bit of time on that one. But there you go. That's not too bad. I mean, I'll be honest with you. When I first looked at page 1 of this build, I was like, oh my god, I'm so scared. But actually, it's fine. It's a really, really cool model, and I'm really looking forward to it. Sort of seeing it stacked up. You know, there's that. Guns on the side. You know, you're starting to get a real feel for how big this is going to look. Alright guys, well, that's this build one. So seeing as we're going into paint, tell you what I'll do, I'll come back in a bit once I've kind of planned my paint, show you how that's done, and then we'll wrap up and get into the painting. Alright, peace. Alright guys, welcome back. So, we're about to head into the painting phase, so this is going to be the wrap up of part 2. Everything in front of me here is it's basically going to be the metallic stuff. So I'm going to get it all nicely undercoated, and then I'm going to start my metallics. Pretty big job, but you know, I think we'll crack through it. We'll take our time. Probably start with the body. I've just masked off that there, so for the pointless bit of interior I did, at least I'm maintaining it. So we'll get it all done, start doing some metallics, and yeah, and then we'll come back. So I think this will wrap up part 2, which is basically showing you the build phase, and as I start to put stuff together again, I'll probably hit more thoughts and issues, so I will I'll let you know about that as well. But my plan really now is get all this base coated, get it kind of nicely highlighted a bit, and then I'm going to dry fit all these parts. I've dry fitted them anyway, but I'm actually going to cut them off, dry fit them. Then I'm going to make sure the panels all fit, because my panels aren't painted, so I've still got options to sort of manipulate them a little bit. And then yeah, you'll see it come. So part 3 is going to be base coat. Alright, thanks for watching guys. If you enjoy it, please like and subscribe. Peace.